Hey there everyone, this is Leo over at the Tech Line. It's been a while since I've been on, mostly because I was busy getting married for the last couple of months. So I've been off of YouTube and a lot of social media platforms in that time. But I've got a reason for coming back now and starting to post again over here on YouTube, and that is because I'm playing PC Building Simulator 2. One of the main reasons I even tried to sell PCs online to begin with was actually because I played the first PC Building Simulator game about 2 years ago because it was free in the Epic Game Store, so of course I grabbed it, and I think in like a week I spent 40 hours playing that game. It was cool, and I was so excited for the second one, and I like building PCs, so I figured, hey, let's jump into PC Building Simulator 2 and just kind of build a PC that I'm currently playing this game on right now. And yeah, let's just start a new one. I only played it for 5 minutes, it's fine. So let's just jump into this and check out the workshop that's over here. And from the PC Building Simulator workshop, welcome to free build. Alright, let's start building the PC of your dreams. I'm not going to be building a PC of my dreams because, let's be honest, that's going to cost me $3,000 to $4,000, considering that the RTX 4090 just came out and the AMD 7950 just came out. So let's just be modest and build the one that I'm currently running. To be fair, the RTX 4090 cost more than what my current PC costs to build. So let's at least start off by showing a small screenshot of my PC that I'm currently using over here. You get to see the inside, the guts. I'll explain every single part as we're putting it inside the build here within the game. There's only going to be one part that I will be changing that I'm at least aware of. I'm sure the game will have it, and that's going to be the processor, but I'll explain that one in most likely a future video within a week or so, but we'll see how that works out. So let's go into the inventory here and just... First, of course, we have to start off with the case. So the case that I'm currently using in this PC is the Fractal Design Meshify 2 Compact. So let's go ahead and open up the filter. And we do have Fractal Design. Awesome. And I do see that they have the... Can I type in? Oh, I can. All right. Let's see if Meshify... Aha. Meshify 2. We are almost on point. Yep, and I got the one with the window on the side. There it is. TG full tower. Is that the compact? It doesn't say that's the compact. It's this one here, but with a side panel. It would be clear, and this one doesn't seem to have the clear side panel version, which is what I'm using right now. The only thing that's even the most similar is probably this guy over here, the one that says XL Dark, but it's not exactly the same, so it looks like it's missing one of the cases. Fractal Design made this very case in so many different flavors that honestly you can kind of get away with probably just using one of the other ones and be just fine. So let's at least just go for the Meshify CTG. You know, it's compact. It's not the 2 one, I guess, but you know, we'll work with what we got here. So let's just go ahead and grab this case. Yep, that's exactly what my case looks like. They're pretty similar. So let's just go ahead and slap that down over here. Go ahead and at least take out the side panel. A couple of unscrews. Oh, it's doing it automatically. Nice. You know, I kind of want that... I want to be able to... There we go. Let's turn off all these options over here that does everything automatically. I want to feel myself turning every single screw. Now, of course, this means that the next part we have to put into this PC is going to be the motherboard, and it's going to be the AB350, which it doesn't seem to have. It does not. All right, so my motherboard is not in this list over here. Let's see if there's something else I can do. Let's go with you, because I'm running a standard ATX motherboard, and that's what I'm going to put inside my system. Now, how do I pick it up? Do I... Oh, do I just go through here and do it? Let me see here. Install. Oh, look. Leo, you're an idiot. All right, so fits this PC. That's some good stuff that's in there. All right, let's go with the motherboard again. Motherboard type. Standard ATX. And this correct size. So we're just going to have to go with you here, buddy. Yeah. All right, let's pop this guy right on in here. And got to get those standoffs on there. I almost regret turning off those options to screw everything in there. But, you know, we're already here, so... I may have to remove the fan that's on this, too, because I did replace all the fans on my PC with red fans, because, of course, you replace your fans with red fans. That's what look cooler. And let's see if we can get that case panel part off. Yep, and let's get the front off. We got to get this fan off. And we'll get the back fan off. We don't need the exhaust here. Well, we will need an exhaust, but technically I don't think my PC requires an exhaust, but we'll see why I say that a little bit later once I get the cooler in there. And all right, back panel's off. Yeah, this definitely is very similar to what I'm currently got in terms of the fan. But let's get the processor installed in here. Now the processor that's going to go in here, let's type the filter in here. There we go. The octa-core AMD Ryzen 7 5800X. Now, I know as a gamer, most of us go for something like the X3D, but at the current prices, the X3D is currently twice as much of the cost of the 5800X. It's still running for over $400, whereas I've seen the 5800X even dropped down to almost $200 on Newegg, and on Amazon after the recent release of the 7000 series of processors. So when it comes to, I believe, this year's Cyber Monday, I'm certain that you're going to see processors like these drop heavily in price, and I don't want to be spending a lot of money to jump over to the new platform. So this is what I'm going to be working with, at least for the time being. So we're just going to go ahead and drop that right on in there. I'll close the lid, and of course, man, look at that. You could zoom right on in there. You could, man, the texture detail is way higher in this game than the last one. But from here, let's go ahead and just put a little dab of the, see if we got some tools in there. Oh, there we go, thermal paste. And, oh wow, it zooms it right into the screen and everything. That is very detailed. And we'll just, 1, 2, oh, it actually like requires, you can actually like dab how much you want in there. Oh, it's from Thermal Grizzly as well. So we actually have some real brand name thermal cooling here. So I guess that means that you could also do things like draw it all on. It says not enough thermal paste applied. Okay, well, there we go, sufficient paste applied. So it even tells you how much you require, like even at the bottom of the screen. So that's pretty cool. Let's press escape. I bought my power supply a decade ago. Yes, in 2012. I've been using the same power supply for 10 years because at that time when I bought that power supply, I told myself, I want to buy something that's so overkill that I won't need to replace it for 10 years. And that's exactly what's occurred, actually. It's been going strong, and it is actually a Corsair 750 watt power supply. Oh, there we go. We have the exact one. Yes, it is a, well, I don't have a modular power supply, so it looks like this game only has modular power supply. I have a Corsair non-modular power supply, so it's not the exact one. All right, I got a little too excited over there. Looks like I'll have to remove the part in the back so that way we can actually get the power supply installed in here. And let's get the search for 750 and slap that on in there. And this game, you have to plug your components back in there. So the PSU mount, that's got to get on there so that way it's mounted onto something. Now we got some power in here. We got to get a couple of cables in here already. And the reason is, well, I have a very large cooler, and some of you may guess which cooler it's going to be that I'm using in this system. But let's at least get some of the cabling in here. I'm using the default cables that came with the my power supply. Again, it's a non-modular power supply, so it's basically using just these regular flat ribbon braided black cables. So let's just go ahead and install that in here, and we'll get the one for the motherboard that's on there. I've got mine snaked into the bottom, and of course we need the 8-pin for the processor itself. Great. So from here, let's get a couple of the case fans that I'm using. Now the fans that I have in my PC are from Cooler Master, so let's see if we got ourselves case fans. We do, but they are not RGB case fans. Now I am running RGB case fans here, and they have them all set to red. So I guess we'll just have to see if we can look up some RGB. I do have mostly just 120s installed in this system here. So we got a 120 in the back. That's exactly what we're running in here. So we'll throw the 120 RGB fan in the back. And we got 3 more up front that I got to install. So we'll go ahead and install these. I swear, when the next platform gets a little bit cheaper, I'm just gonna. This game is convincing me to jump to the next platform at this point. They're like, bro, you're still using outdated parts. Come on. I'm like, yeah, because they've worked for me for a decade. I was just removing the drive tray there, which is still in my actual case because I do have 3 fans in the front. But for some reason, this case doesn't let me slide it to the left and right, which you can do. You can see that there's like a little rail here that if you unscrew the drive cage, you could slide it forward and back a little bit, and that way mine is more pressed towards where the power supply is over here, so that way it's able to fit, because I do have a couple of IDE drives that are in there, or SATA drives, but spinning disk for a lot of cable, for a lot of storage. You know, it's funny, I definitely did say at the very beginning of this video, I'm going to build my exact PC in PC Part Picker 2, or PC Part Picker, PC Building Simulator 2, different system entirely, and that's not occurring. We're just working with what we got over here, so let's get these case fans installed. The way this game works is it lets you daisy chain your fans together and then connect them over into the motherboard, which is a real thing. A lot of actual fans do that, so mine don't though, so I just got to work with what I got. Now looks like let's just get some storage on here. I am running a M.2 drive, so the exact one that I'm using over here. Let's see where storage is. Alright, let's go to M.2. The one I have in particular is going to be from WS Blacker. We don't have any Western Digital. You know, for such a known company, I'm surprised we don't have any Western Digital parts under brand. Just 88 Corsair, Gigabyte, HyperX, Kingston. I get it, licensing and all that. But yeah, it looks like we don't have any Western Digital parts. Really, the closest one that even looks like with what I'm using over here, at least within mine, ironically, is the T-Force one. So let's go ahead and throw the T-Force that's in there, slap that on there, screw it down, and we got to put the cover back on. And what? Hold on. Cover off. Cover on. You could still see it. That's the cover's not going back on. It's just. That's funny. That's real funny. Maybe that's intentional, but you could see the solid state drive, or the M.2 that is, right through the actual cover. So it's not realistic in that sense, but that's fine. Actually, we'll put the graphic card in last. So next, let's get the CPU cooler that's on there. So the cooler, which I was mentioning beforehand, is like the biggest air cooler that you can find, of course. And let's see if they have that in here. We don't have Noctua in this system. Well, that means we just got to work with what we got, don't we? Well, so we got a fractal case. Let's use a fractal cooler. I probably wouldn't use a 360 cooler for what I have. I like the idea. And we'll just install this to the top of the case, but that will require us to remove some pieces from the top. See, this I find kind of funny, because normally, let's say I wanted to have the exhaust here. You could see all this room here for the exhaust. You could slide it downwards a bit more, but this game doesn't seem to let me do that. Well, let's see if I can at least just get the RAM in there and then figure out a kind of cooler I can use afterwards. So, the RAM that I'm using is actually a pair of Ballistic Sports RAM. Let's see if we have Ballistics as a company. We don't. Let's just use Team Group because it is a red color RAM, because of course that's what you use. The G-Skill kit's pretty much going to be the closest I got over here. So we're going to slap 2 of these G-Skill sticks that are in here. I got to open up these clips. Got to rename this video to installing the closest RAM that I could find. Alright, so from there, let's go ahead and see if we can find a proper air cooler. Now, I'm using the legendary Noctua NHD15 with red covers that are on it, and I'm using both fans, 140 millimeter fans, blowing air outwards. So let's see if we can get some kind of tower cooler, a dual tower cooler. I would say the most similar cooler to the Noctua one that I have here is going to be this Be Quiet one that you have over here. We have the double tower that's going on. We have the internal fan that's in there, the external fan, and they're both blowing air out towards this direction. So let's get this. It's going to be a monster. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, okay. I, for a second, thought it was so big it was peeking out the case. I'm like, there's no way. Yeah, there we go. All right. That makes a lot more sense. So let's at least go ahead and get that last part in there, which is going to be the graphics card. I would be so shocked if they don't have the exact graphic card that I'm using right now in this game, considering that this graphic card came out 2 years ago. The one I've got from NVIDIA, it is a 3070. There it is. Feels like this game is using pricing from like maybe 4 months ago, give or take. As of the recording of this video, somewhere around the spring, early summer, during the height of the chaos. But the MSRP cost of this graphic card is $500, which is what I ended up getting for last year. So this game is using some crazy prices, but last year was pretty crazy, to be honest. So let's just slap that graphic card in there. Awesome, and let's get that cable connected and put that into one of the graphic card ones. There we go, right into the cooler end. That's the PC. That's basically what's going on over there. So everything is up and running. Let's clear all these settings. Let's see if we can get all the components installed on there. We got to put on the filters. So we've got side panel, dust filter. Yep, we're going to need you. Let's put the dust filter up in the front. Let's get the back panel that's back on there. So let's get the devices here connected. We got the graphics card connected. The heck with it, let's plug in power. We got the USB ports in there, and I think that's all the cables. So let's go ahead and put the side panel back on. Close you up and power you on. Awesome. Fans are all spinning. Got to turn them lights on. How fast it'll install? I think it's Omega OS. Yeah, it's basically Linux. Alright, let's install a couple of programs. Obviously 3D Market's got to go on there. The most important one, the RGB lighting that we need on there. Let's get the lighting tool going on over here. So in my actual case, I only have a solid red color turned on in all of my fans. Here we go. Static color red. Darker red. Alright. But yeah, this is essentially what I'm almost rocking in my own current PC right now, with the exception of the RAM, the cooler, the fans, the motherboard, the power supply, the case. Yeah. So, pretty cool game. I'm going to see if I can enjoy also doing a little bit of the single player mode after this. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.